let me introduce Jayden. Shar and I went down to this, I don't know if anyone else was there, fundraiser and introduction to Jayden. I first heard of him back in February, I guess, when I got a text announcing Florida Future Leaders and the plan to have youth talking to youth, which makes a lot of sense. But Jayden's not really a youth. I don't think he's got the demeanor and the brains of that most of us didn't have until we were 30 or 40, and maybe some of us still don't have, but he's a youth in that he knows how to talk to youth, which is something that old farts like me don't and there may be a few others in this room, not that I'm going to name anyone. So he'll tell us about what he's been doing, but it is, I mean, what a great idea. And I hope people brought checkbooks. I brought mine, and when we went to hear him, I had already brought a check, or I'd already given him a check at the beginning, and I gave him another one after I heard him speak. So I hope that was not too much of a pitch.
I appreciate it. Very happy to be with you all. First off, thank you, Michael, for the invite to be here and all your support as always. What a crazy month, huh?
Yeah.
We start off with that.
Yeah.
What a wild past 2 weeks. I think like much of y'all, I was completely down in the dumps for about 2-3 weeks. Then I was back to being like, oh, we are on fire. Then I was back to being in the dumps. And now, I don't know. I don't think I've ever been this motivated. I don't think I've ever seen other people this motivated either. So, background, my name is Jayden D'Onofrio. I'm the chairman of the Florida Future Leaders PAC, which funds the Florida High School Democrats and Florida College Democrats in our state. So I do much of the youth organizing here in Florida. We launched our PAC back in January, which is when Michael first heard about us.
Yeah.
First donated. I think if I remember correctly, you were actually one of our first donors within the first 3 days, if I remember correctly. So shout out Michael for being quick with me. I appreciate it. So we have been doing so much work all across the state to engage youth, make sure that we turn out youth, but specifically to have a real strategy behind it. Because we haven't really had youth organized in our state, especially from our state party. Okay, and that's completely different compared to other state parties, right? So you look at, for example, Wisconsin, you look at Michigan, you look at North Carolina. These states, they thrived from youth being engaged and turning out in the last election cycle. Okay, we had a historic cycle last election cycle in the sense that it was a first, the first midterms for President Biden, which usually when you have an incumbent president, you completely lose numbers of seats in Congress. We did not do that. We have totally different, experience in that cycle. And most of it was because of youth turning out in a lot of these states. And so that led us down the path of what are we doing wrong here in Florida and how do we fix it? And it was glaring to me. It was, we don't have literally any youth in our state party engaging, nor do we have the resources to do so. So that's why we set out on this PAC, and that's why we launched it in January. And so in our first 24 hours, we raised $20,000. Yep. In our first month, we raised $100,000. Yep. And so I'm especially happy today. I don't know if you can tell, I'm in a really good mood. Because we actually put out our press release today that we raised, since our founding, $200,000. So it's been a long ride in 7 months of just pure work, pure aggressiveness and tracking down resources and telling everyone the plan that we have, which is very simple. We have 3 specific legislative districts that I want to flip. Senate District 3, which is up in Tallahassee, which is the only flippable state Senate district. House District 37, which is in Orlando. Some of you might know Representative Carlos Guillermo Smith, who was running in that district. He lost that district last cycle by 2,000 votes. We had 14,000 registered Dems and NPAs aged 18 to 29 not turn out to vote in that district last cycle. 7 times the amount we lost by. Terrible. Then we also have the district over here, House District 91, that has FAU in the district. Jay Schuster's running in that district, right? We had a 22% turnout at FAU. It's awful. Awful. So our plan is very simple. Youth engaging youth. We are hiring staffers, youth students all across the state, to engage on their campuses. And so with our press release today, we announced another thing. And you'll see all this in the morning. If any of you read Political Playbook, it'll be in your email tomorrow. It'll be at the top of it. Playbook, Political Playbook. It's the main newsletter basically for news in the state. And we announced that we're going to be hiring 41 students.
Wow.
41 students across 5 campuses to engage their peers. And you might have heard about us a little bit already for the work that we're doing on Amendment 3 and Amendment 4 specifically. We're distributing thousands of custom condoms and rolling papers to raise awareness around Amendment 3 and Amendment 4. And so specifically, the condoms have a message on them. They say, don't get fucked by the GOP, protect abortion. Yeah, yeah. I did it. I wish I had some with me. Most of my. There you go. She said she already has one. She stole it from us. So.
And that's one for you.
Yeah. So. So. You know, we're doing these sort of unique organizing strategies that really resonate with our generation, right? Because it's youth organizing youth. It's unique ideas, right? So that brings us to now. What an insane month we just went through. Okay, truly insane. I tell people all the time, the reason why our generation was so involved is because of all the historical events we went through and recognize how our generation is really the only one to go through these things. For example, I remember going through the 2008 Great Recession growing up. I was 5 years old when it happened, and my house was foreclosed on. I was borderline homeless living here in Florida. I remember when Donald Trump was elected. My mom was in the other room crying. I didn't know what that meant, but I remembered it. I remember when, you know, the insurrection happened in our capital. When has that ever happened in our country? Since I think the last time we had a real insurrection besides the Civil War was, you know, maybe Whiskey's Rebellion back in like 1793, you know? So we've only had these 2 massive events like that before in our country. So we've had all these unique experiences. Oh, and one more. I mean, I grew up in Broward County. I remember being in my 7th grade English class when the shooting at Parkland happened.
Yeah.
I got the notification that 17 people had been shot and killed while I was in class, in my English class in 7th grade. And so all these experiences set the basis of what our generation is, why we are voting Democrat, why we are so engaged politically, and why this matters to us so much. We all have our personal stories of what got us involved. And for me, it was in 2020 when my mother had passed away. She passed away of a drug overdose. And she was the person that made me understand the world around me, why it matters, and why I should be involved. And I wanted to do something that would have mattered to her. And it ended up being this. Now, I didn't know what that meant in any sense. until about a month later, when I was watching the George Floyd protests across the country, but specifically June 1st, 2020, when there was a protest in Lafayette Square, which is the square right in front of the White
Right.
House.
Oh, and Trump,
And Trump cleared out the protest
with the upside down bag.
violently. He
Yeah.
violently cleared out this
Upside down.
protest
Yeah.
just to take a picture with a Bible.
It was upside down. too.
And I watched
Yeah.
it live.
Yeah.
And that was the moment I said, I am a Democrat. I know I'm a Democrat, and I'm gonna do something about that. I ended up calling every state senator and state rep until I got to mine, which is State Senator Lauren Book. And I
Wow.
became a state senate page, which means I thought I was hot shit. I'm gonna go to Tallahassee, and I quickly learned that I know nothing. And I have so much to learn. And I loved it. I ended up getting involved with her campaign, and it put me down this path. All that to say, that's literally the story of our generation. Okay. And now we are in the most unique circumstances I've ever seen in politics, in political organizing, in the political atmosphere. We just had, how many of you watched the speech last night, from President Biden?
Oh,
Ever,
yeah,
right? How many of you teared up?
yeah.
I did too. I did too. I mean, it was historic. Absolutely historic. I told Michael, I said it in my fundraiser. That is the best president I've ever lived through.
Right.
It's not even,
And I said that afterwards. I said, and I've been around, I go back before LBJ,
Yeah.
you know, but you know who nailed it was Bernie. What he called him the most effective.
yeah.
And I always,
done.
yeah, what he got done with what he had.
Yeah.
Obama, you know, had a super majority. The FDR had
Yeah.
super majority. LBJ had a
Still
super
got this
majority.
Done.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you know, we're in this position now of a completely different atmosphere. Okay. President Biden made the historic decision to not seek re-election. I personally actually wanted him to stay in, believe it or not. Most of my generation, I think, felt differently.
Yeah.
But I think the way it was handled, the way he did it, showcases just who he is
Yeah.
as a president.
Mhm.
The fact that we're so unified behind Kamala Harris.
Yeah.
The fact that Kamala Harris now has $200 million
Yeah.
raised for Democrats across the country. The fact that Kamala Harris is not even gonna find a person going against her in the convention. Okay, I've never seen this party so unified. I've never seen youth voters so engaged. Okay. The 24 hours after Kamala Harris became the clear nominee, there was a report that came out from this organization. It's called vote.org. Okay, it's the website, vote.org. You go on there, you register to vote. And that's usually where students register to vote. They released a report that in the 24 hours after, they saw 38,000 18 to 34-year-olds register to vote across the country. That is a 700% uptick. And higher than when even Taylor Swift posted.
Right.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
That is pretty big. All right.
They have to vote.
They do have to vote. I'm gonna get to that. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
But right now, all that to say, we are in a beautiful position right now. We are on the right side of the issues.
Mhm.
We have a prosecutor going against a felon.
Right.
We have the most divisive man in American history as the nominee of the Republican Party. And we now have a youth icon in Kamala Harris as our nominee. Okay, it's a completely different world than what we are. Sorry, I want. It's a completely different world than what we were in last month. Okay, now we have to take advantage of that. We have to take advantage of that. We have to knock doors. We have to make calls. We have to send texts. We have to talk to our friends. We have to talk to our neighbors. We have to do all that. I know on the youth side of things, the reason why that alarm just went off, because in 30 minutes, we're about to have a nationwide call on the Kamala Harris campaign for all youth. We're having an all youth call in 30 minutes. How many thousands of students are gonna be on that poll? Thousands. Absolutely. Absolutely. And so when I think about the work that we're doing with the Florida Future Leaders PAC, specifically here in Florida, we have so much opportunity. We have so much opportunity. We have Amendment 3 on the ballot. We have
Yep.
Amendment 4 on the ballot, two issues that youth really, really care about.
Yeah.
And we have a government led by an extremist and Ron DeSantis. The governor's mansion has been dominated by Republicans for what, 20 to 30 years now here in the state? We have a state legislature that's in the supermajority in both chambers. And I think the fundamental reason why we're at this position that we're at now is because we haven't passed the torch of leadership to the younger generations in our state. We have a president who just did that.
Mhm.
And we now see the party unified in such a way that we've never seen before. I've never heard of $250 million being raised in 4 days. That's what happened. I've never heard of a complete breakdown of political stability in a party, and then all of a sudden, 24 hours later, it's now the most unified thing we've ever seen. I've never heard of that. What's the difference here in Florida? The difference is our state party, us as Democrats, have not built the bench of leaders and candidates for tomorrow's Democratic Party. And that's what we're trying to change. Okay, so we're setting the groundwork to be able to recruit candidates for 2026. We're laying the groundwork to be able to fund all of them with real money. Okay, we're 7 months into it. We've raised $200,000 and we're completely student led. That's unheard of. And the reason why it's so successful is because it is youth organizing youth. Okay, so the one thing I could press to all of you is we have to amplify youth. We have to engage youth. And the way we're doing it is through youth engaging youth. And that's what we want to do. That's all we're asking for. We're asking for the availability to do that and the resources to make it happen. I'm not asking for your time. I'm not asking for you to, go knock doors or talk to youth yourselves. I'm saying we got it. We're gonna handle it.
Mhm.
I just need your money to make it happen. I do. I have to keep it honest.
Yeah.
So we're really excited for our fall organizing and what we're gonna be doing. We're gonna continue the condoms and the rolling paper distribution that we're doing, but we're also gonna have real unique events that, for example, I'll give you an example, one that I was shocked by how successful it was. We distributed 1,000 tulips for free on the college campuses with sororities to target young women in the spring semester. And usually, if you know anything about voter registration, you'll get about 3 voter registrations per hour. I personally did the one at FSU. I ended up registering 31 students in an hour and a half doing that. And that was just one event. Golf's great. Look, we're already seeing how important Kamala Harris is as a nominee for youth. Has anyone seen this whole brat thing?
Yeah, yes, good.
All right, I'm gonna be honest, okay? I don't even know what it was. I had no idea what that meant,
What is it?
but now I know. It's apparently Kamala Harris is cool. So I guess I am secretly old because I didn't know what it was. So I'll embrace it. But it's things like that. If you look at the TikTok account that she has, President Biden had 400,000 followers on it. The next day, when she was nominated and the account changed over to Kamala Harris, it's now at 1.2 million followers. All youth engaged.
Well, she's got 2 young step. That's true.
Yeah, yeah. There's a real youth-driven component to this that Donald Trump cannot match in any way, and we have to take advantage of that. I've never seen the youth so engaged. I've never seen them so organized, and I'm really excited for it. So that's the breakdown of where we're at. I'm looking forward to now 2026 as well, because look, the reason why we're in this position is, like I said, we haven't built a bench of candidates and leaders for tomorrow's Democratic Party. We've also let the Republican Party completely take advantage of us here in the state, in the sense that they've committed years of long-term planning of how they're going to take us down, and we've done nothing about it. So my thought process, we have to get through this election. we have to get out of the super minority state house. That's the number one most important thing.
Yeah.
We have to pass Amendment 4. Okay, then in 2026, we have a gubernatorial election. Why do I care about that election so much? I'll tell you why. The Republicans are gonna have a 6-way primary, probably. I think there's gonna be 6 candidates in it. What does that mean? It means that the one person that I think, the one person I think could win it is the person that we least want to win. It's
Matt
insane.
Gaetz.
His name is Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
Does everybody know Matt Gaetz?
Oh, God.
I'm 99% sure Matt Gaetz will be the nominee for the Republican Party. in
No, no.
2026.
Yeah.
No. Everybody's saying no, but that's the reality.
Say that name again?
Matt Gaetz,
Oh, no, he's a fringe.
he'll win. He'll win the nomination. For
For
what?
what?
For governor. For governor.
Oh, for governor.
Yep, he'll win the nomination for governor.
Unless
Now-
Casey DeSantis.
What does that mean though? Casey's not running. I can tell you right now, Casey's not running. Why is Casey not running? Because her husband is such a misogynist and hates women so much
Yeah, she did.
that he can't allow her to do better than him. So, and I've heard that from legit senators that,
Okay.
so we don't have to worry about Casey DeSantis.
Yeah.
But all that to say, we have a real opportunity in that.
Yeah.
With Matt Gaetz being the nominee. Why? Matt Gaetz has been accused of touching kids.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz has been accused of having sex with kids.
Yeah.
Republicans love that.
I'm not gonna go any
That's a badge
further.
of honor.
I'm not gonna go any further, but we have a real opportunity in that election.
Yeah,
Okay,
Yeah.
and the longest term outlook that I have is 2030, when we have redistricting. Okay,
yes.
we have to get out of the redistricting mess that we have in the state. So. I'm very excited. I'm happy to answer any questions, kind of just an overview of all the work that we're doing and fundraising and the long-term outlook. And the last thing I'll say before I take questions is we're in the most unique position we've ever been right now. We have to take advantage of that. The one thing that resonates with me the most from Kamala Harris, what she's saying recently, is we are not going back. Okay, they've got 100,000 volunteers registered in the past 72 hours.
Yeah.
100,000. That's wild.
Yeah.
That is wild. We have to get more than that, and we have to knock the door ourselves.
Yeah.
You've had your hand up
Yeah.
first.
Question is, how do you recruit? Because if I know some students that say they're going to need.
Yeah.
How would I get them involved?
So first off, like I mentioned in the beginning, our PAC funds the Florida High School Democrats and the Florida College Democrats. So we have 2 statewide caucuses with members all across the state. So the first thing, I want to get every student that wants to get involved into their respective caucus. So if they're a college student at Lynn University, let's have them join up with Florida College Democrats.
Mhm.
If they want to create a chapter on their campus, we can make that happen and then fund them to be able to do that. They'll be able to make sure that they're engaging their generation in a leadership position on their campus. Now, let's say you don't know anyone at all and you just want to go out there and engage generally. The most effective thing that we can do is youth engaging youth. You have to find that base of students that want to engage for you, because that's going to be what's most effective. So offering students opportunities is the most important thing. I would not be sitting in front of you without my first internship that I got, which was a state senate page. Okay, we have to be able to offer internships. We have to offer it through our campaigns. We have to offer it through our PPC. We have to offer it through our clubs. We have to make sure that they're worthwhile. The other thing, high school students, in order to graduate, you need 40 volunteer service hours to graduate high school. I know because I graduated last year. Okay, but I didn't need 40. I actually needed 80 because I wanted to get my bright futures, which a lot of students get their bright futures. So they need volunteer service hours desperately. So what I always tell clubs and DECs and campaigns is organize a spreadsheet of all of the guidance counselors and the professors in the high schools and colleges in your area. Email all of them the opportunities that you have, the internships and the volunteer service hours, and ask them to send them to their students. 99% of the time, they're going to say yes. The reason why they're going to say yes is because when their students build their resume, they're going to get into a better college, which means that they're going to get a better look on their job as a guidance counselor, or a professor is going to be like, well, you're getting the experience that you need to just graduate in the first place. So there's the adult to student component and there's the student to student. Approach it from whatever way that you think is best, how you can make the best difference.
And is there a website? Do you have a website?
Yeah, I do. Oh, so also I have cards up here to be able to donate, so let me just get that real quick. 'Cause I like receiving money, so let me get inside your hands. But yeah, our website is www.floridafutureleaders.com.
Please.
I'll pass it down.
Jack and Janet, by the way, Jayden, are close friends with Robert Watson at Lynn, Dr. Watson. Yeah, yeah.
Lynn, do you know Robert Watson?
No,
Who else? That's gonna be a-
I've never met Robert.
Okay, well.
I've never met Robert.
I'll meet him.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Tell me about Robert Watson. What's that?
He's sort of,
Got me all hyped up now.
yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. no, he's a local superstar, professor of politics.
Okay.
He's been on, CNN, all kinds of.
I would love to meet him.
Yeah, he works like 19 hours a day, and
Lectures.
And he.
he actually reads the Delray Demo.
Wow. Look
Yeah.
at you.
Yeah.
Look at you.
We
Yes, sir.
will get you enough information. We'll Jack will probably.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Now,
Yeah.
my
Oh, you
question,
do have a question. Let me hear.
what are the main issues besides, of course, the two, amendment 3 and 4 that the youth are most concerned about?
Great
Is it
question.
climate
Number
change?
one, issue, this election, affordability and the cost of living is the number one issue across all demographics. Number two, the right to choice. Number three, switches off between those who voted last election and those who didn't vote. So those who did vote, it is, climate change. Those who
Yeah.
didn't vote, it's gun violence.
Ah,
It's all-
Yeah.
interesting, yeah.
Yes, sir.
all the-
I want to compliment you for dressing nicely to come to the meeting.
I appreciate it.
I really think that makes a statement,
I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it.
and whatever.
FloridaFutureLeaders.org.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're going out to
June.
Hi, what is it? I'm
FloridaFutureLeaders.org.
I'm very, can you tell us if you're able to decide the following information, and that is the college students that you got to register.
Yeah.
Who have obviously enough, not important status until you came along, was it?
Oh, that's a good
Were
question.
you able, were you able to gather, that information, was it gathered? Was it, I don't like the candidate?
Mike, can you guess my answer to this?
No.
Um, what I would say, is that they saw what happened in 2022. A lot of people didn't, the Sun Sentinel had an article, people, who didn't vote. They have-
Here's the answer. It's because our political sphere in our state has completely not engaged our generation at all. We have a situation in which both political parties that run the state have never reached out to youth. They've never done campus organizing. They've never had youth in their actual party. They've
Mm.
never had actual money spent on youth. It's the
Obama,
reality.
2008.
That is the last time, that in 2012 was the last time there was real youth outreach in our state.
Mhm.
And that was obviously a decade ago to this point, and it's not like I was there to say, yeah, it was true youth outreach. It's just from people that I heard that worked on the
That's how he
campaign.
got elected.
Well, he won well here in Florida, but we haven't had that since then. And look, we have so many, first off, we have voter apathy with people not wanting to turn out, like you mentioned, but we have so many people that are unregistered in the first place.
Mhm.
Because there hasn't been real voter registration campaigns on these campuses by our political parties. Republicans, and I put this out in our press release today, I said, the Republicans are in the worst position that they could possibly be in, with Kamala Harris being the nominee now. Because our generation wakes up even more, while their base is not being replaced.
Yeah.
They
No,
have,
right.
their people are people that are stuck in their ways for 80 years and are hating of other types of people. That's completely not our generation. That's why we don't align with Republicans in any way. So we have such a great opportunity to outreach as Democrats and show that we are the party of inclusiveness and of young people. Okay? And so I think especially this election, the GOP in Florida are in the worst position possible because they don't have a Florida College Republicans. They technically have a caucus, but the caucus doesn't exist. They don't spend a single dollar on youth organizing, and they don't have any youth leadership in the party. They don't have a single young person in their party.
You know, part of it is lack of information. And that's something that you do. I mean,
Yeah.
I get texts from you every single day. Hey, you know, and this is going out and it's going out in a way that what I started to say before about what people didn't know in 2022, the Sun Sentinel was profiling the 2.5 million Democrats that didn't vote.
Yep.
They were registered, they didn't vote. And one of the young woman said, I knew Donald Trump was bad. I didn't know that DeSantis was so bad.
Yeah.
And another guy said, well, everyone said DeSantis was gonna win, and I didn't want to take a day off from work to go vote. He didn't know that there was vote by mail. This one, you know, and that's a huge thing that you
Yep.
bring. It's not just energizing. It's informing, and the young people don't want to hear me talk. You know,
Don't lie to yourself, Mike. Don't lie.
but
Okay, I got a few things. My own personal one is that, to me, the most important issue for you is the climate.
yeah,
I mean,
of course.
nothing else matters except we're destroying the planet
Right.
that you're gonna have to live on because we're gonna be gone.
And we're on the front lines here in Florida, and our government's doing nothing about it, right?
Yes, we're gonna get some of it, but they're gonna get all of it.
Right.
So here's under the very assumed things. What's your funding target for 2024?
Yeah.
Has the Facebook youth page been revamped? I don't even know.
I don't know what that one is, but I will say my fundraising target, when I created the PAC, I had three budgets created. Okay, I had 100K, I had 200K, and I had 300K. 200K, reaching 200K meant that we are able to run a full youth organizing program between those three districts. We've accomplished that. We accomplished that today. So I would put out that press release. You'll read it all about it tomorrow when the articles come out. I want to reach 300K. Why do I want to reach 300K? 300K means I can run a full statewide effort. Okay. Are we going to reach 300K? Look, June was a very tough month for us. And the reason why is because of the absolute catastrophic month for Democrats.
Mhm.
Now, July is the biggest fundraising month we've ever had. Just this month alone, the month's not even done, we've raised $51,000 this month. So I can't say for sure whether we're gonna reach $300,000, but if we do, it's because of people like you giving us the resources to make that happen. So, yeah.
Got more. What happened to the youth groups that grew out of Marjorie Douglas school killings or you connect with?
So David Hogg runs this group called Leaders of We Deserve. They and also March for Our Lives still exists. The difference is with them is that Leaders We Deserve specifically focuses on winning certain elections. So very specific ones. That's his Leaders We Deserve PAC. None of them are in Florida except for actually the one target district we also have, which is House District 37. And then the March for Our Lives is specific to guns and gun violence. And they've completely gone down in relevance and fortune in space. So yes, I am connected with them.
And where can we read your press releases?
We don't send out our press releases to publicly. We send them out to the reporters, but we can look into doing something like that. I'd be happy to do that. If they sign up for our email program, they'll get all of our updates. And you can do that by going to our website, floridafutureleaders.com, and you'll be able to sign up.
Yes, a number of years ago, I belonged to League of Women Voters, and we used to organize and go down to FAU and register But I understand that DeSantis stopped that we weren't allowed to, go and register, we have a friend who's
So-
very active on Pilaster, but I'm sure. I think he had stopped that.
He passed a law, it was called SB, Senate Bill 7050 was the bill that was called. The reason why I know it so well is because actually that was the bill that I fought the hardest against in my entire life. The reason for that is that bill specifically, put forth a lot of new restrictions on voter registration and
Right.
voter engagement. You can do voter registration on the campuses.
Okay.
The problem is that, the fines, if you do it wrong, are massive. So you have to, first off, I think the League of Women Voters are still a registered third-party voter registration organization, so that means they still can do it. But do they want to deal with the fact that someone might screw it up and get fined $50,000? I don't know if they want to deal with that. We are dealing with it, because someone has to do it. And, we're staying on top of our people. And we're also doing digital voter registration. So if you can do voter registration, go and do it, you know, the paper registration is the most effective form, by the way. But we still do the digital, and we have to. We're down 950,000 voters here in the state to the Republican Party. And by the time of November, it's gonna be 1 million. And our state party won't admit that, but I'll admit it gladly, because that's the reality, right? Yes, sir.
I just want to. The Republican Party has not registered more voters. We've registered less.
Mhm.
It's not about.
And they're kicking
Republican
voters off the rolls too.
I've looked
Yeah.
at the numbers, I can supply you with the numbers.
Yep.
The reality is not that the Republicans have, actually, their Republican registration has not grown as high as the population of Florida.
Yeah.
Problem is, we have a lot of dead Democrats and not replaced them with young Democrats. That's the problem.
I agree.
Not the
Look, there
Republicans haven't
hasn't,
gained, we have lost.
there hasn't been real youth outreach in our state, and we haven't done real, voter registration across our state. Even still, they tell everyone that there's a real voter registration program being done across the state. I personally, I don't see it. I don't see it. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
David wrote an article, for the Delray Democrat back in, I think, March, the contract with Florida. Riffing on Newt Gingrich's contract on America. With like 5 or 6 different simple items,
Mhm.
that if Democrats are elected, this is what we'll do.
Yep.
And we kept promoting it.
Yeah.
Nikki Fried had people doing a listening tour.
Yeah.
I gave them a copy of it. She came to speak to the club, and nothing ever happened with it, and it was like, it was a no-brainer. I mean, affordable housing, affordable insurance.
Yeah.
And there's no question who is responsible for the mess, because Republicans control everything.
Yeah.
I wanted to make a comment. I have been in education for 50 years. And what I find troublesome, very troublesome, is what happens when the young people today get out of college and have to spend the next 20 and 30 years of their lives paying back their loans.
Yes.
But something very exciting happened, either it's yesterday in the afternoon or this morning, and that's the state of Michigan. The governor signed a bill today, having funding to pre-K to grade 14. And what does that mean?
First 2 years of college.
First 2 years of college. So it can be done, but it can't be done when you have Republicans in state capitals. And the young people have to understand that if they don't want to pay all that money, give their bunch out on November 5th. and
Yeah.
start voting.
Look, I mean, that's what Kamala Harris is running on. She wants to wipe student debt. She wants to confront gun violence, and she wants to confront climate change. And that's why she's resonating so well with youth voters. I think Biden was on the same wavelength. It's just the fact that, it was Joe Biden, unfortunately. As much as I might love the man.
I'm concerned about Rick Scott. That really concerns me, because if he wins, and the last 30 seconds of that election, he's gonna come out and have to.
Well, because he pumps the money in. Well, but
Okay.
June June is taking aim at him.
Yes.
This is the first of 4 articles.
I don't want to be the guy with bad news. I think that, look, I think Debbie's a great candidate. I think she's run a great campaign. I don't know if our efforts are enough here in the state to win statewide yet. I just don't see it. I don't see the money. I don't see the organization. I don't see the outreach. I don't see any of it.
He said it's taking time place. I mean,
If we lose the Senate, but I genuinely think that we are now in a really good position this coming election. Just not here in Florida, unfortunately,
Right.
because we continue to double down on the same thing. We just do not change up the structure of our organizing.
But to a certain extent, also what happened is, used to be a lot of left-wing people retired and moved to Florida. The last 10 years or so, you've got a lot of right-wing people
Yes.
retiring and moving to Florida.
Right.
We won states across the country because the Republicans moved here and we lost Florida.
Right, oh,
To a
yes, that's
certain
right.
extent, we won the election by taking them in,
yes.
doing what Democrats always do, which is self-segregate around cities, makes it easy to pack us all into one district, but, so I'm hopeful that our loss will be the nation's gain.
Well, yeah,
Right.
so somebody thanked, called, the, Ron DeSantis, the Grinch that, saved, the Democratic Party because they all, they came from Pennsylvania. So Fetterman won in Pennsylvania. They came from,
Yep, Yep.
Anyway, we should probably wrap up. You've
Yeah,
got that call.
I have
Yeah.
to jump on the call, so.
Okay.
On your call.
And
I appreciate all of you.
Thank you.
David?
Like I said, any support that you guys can give us goes a long way. We need I appreciate it. I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate all of you. We got our work cut out. We got to do it. We got to engage youth. My biggest goal, like I said, building a bench of candidates and leaders for tomorrow's Democratic Party. So let's do it. All right.
Fill in the number.
All right.
You fill in the numbers, I'll
All right,
sign it.
yeah, you have to wait for the money to come in.
Hey, Jayden,
Not sure. So, you know what we can do with that.
I know that. Mitch called me. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also.
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
Yeah.
So I can agree with that. I get
Thank you too.
How are we doing? Good to see you guys.
So if you look up, yeah, the QR code, scan it, and it'll take you straight to the donation, okay? All right, thank you so much, I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to meet you. I love this shoot. Yeah, I love it. Come on.
Jayden,
Thank you.
No, we're gonna stand.
we're all gonna be dead in 5 years.
Don't lie to yourself.
No,
Come on.
I know you'll get the.
Who's gonna knock doors? Who's gonna knock doors?
I don't think it-
Thank you.
We need more than anything else, if you only drive all but not doors around here.
You gotta Oh, he's here now?
That's your fact.
I can address it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm young, I gotta come out strong, you know. Nice meeting you all. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
Seriously.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
You wanna do.
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Jason, I gotta get those comments.
I'll bring it next time. I'll get you. Rolling paper soup. Come on. I'll get you.
He's my grandkid. So we're
I don't think I have a suit left.
a piece of candy.
Certainly not one.
You're gonna come back?
Not one that fits, right?
Thank you.
All right.
You don't.
Yo, absolutely. Whenever, let me know. I'll be happy to come back.
Yeah.
It's an older group and they're.
Never heard.
Move on. You don't know.
I've never heard of this.
Move on.
No, I might have to look them up. Never heard.
Move on came out of move on came out of the Clinton impeachment. That's what, yeah, move on came out of the Clinton impeachment. Yeah, no, they started, okay, enough, move on.
Yeah.
Oh, is that it?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
No, you're good. You're good. I'm gonna leave these with you.
Okay.
Anyone that you want to share with?
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll take a few.
Go for it. Thank you all.
Bye-bye.
Go have a good one.
Okay.
Do you have anything more for the people out in the audience?
No, I don't,
Yes. Actually, we're down to nobody left anyway.
Nobody want to question?
Except Bob, I didn't need Bob.
Yeah. And Jeff.
Okay, 5, 4,
Oh.
3, 2.
Oh, that Amy, Dan was here.
Dan Rich.
Oh, they're
No,
still there.
his car broke down.
They're still there.
Yeah, his car broke down. His car broke down. He was gonna come for postcard
Oh,
and bring them out.
oh,
He said he's gonna meet me tomorrow.
all right,
I was saying to wait to put.
all right, well, we gotta, pack up the room, so I hope everybody enjoyed him.
Sure.
He's a future governor,
just want another 100
if he wants it.
for our stuff. Hi, how are you?
Good.
I went to the wrong place, so I just showed up.
Oh, well, you know what? You can watch it, afterwards online. We tape these things.
Okay.
He,
I told her
I
sent her the link.
yeah, 19 years old. 19 years old. And I mean,
We need young blood.
yeah. And he, when we heard him speak, at a fundraiser.
All right, we're having the virtual pizza now, unfortunately. Bob and company out in,
You know, and
Virtual pizza.
all right, now we got a Bob. They broke down the whole office. We had to, set up chairs and everything. Now we
Oh,
gotta
wow.
break them down.
Hey, Dave,
I don't hear you. Why
You don't
don't I
hear
hear, did you disconnect?
No, I
no,
didn't.
I don't hear Bob. Why
you
don't I
don't
hear
hear me.
Bob?
My mic is on.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look in the supply room on the top shelf nearest to the door, you will see.
Hang on, I can't hear you over the people all talking over there.
Well, tell them all to shut up.
Make a lot, I'll turn on my audio.
Yeah.
There, now I can hear you.
All right, how's that?
Yeah, a little better.
Okay. Anyway, if you look
And
on the top shelf in the supply room, closest to the door to the supply room, you will see our game from All People's Day.
Oh, excellent, because I wanted to try the bowling again.
yeah.
I'm sure I can get it working now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I finally released it from the,
Finally returned it, huh?
yes.
Were there cobwebs on it or?
Yeah, but I think there were grocery spills.
All right, we're
right.
shutting it down.
Yeah.
We gotta clean up.
Chairs away.
Bye, everybody. 5, 4, 3,
Good night.
2, 1, yay.